Hey everybody, here we are. It is Wednesday. Getting ready to do another live chat with you guys. Obviously, the topic of today is how ready are you? Are you ready, and how ready are you? So we're going to talk about different aspects of being ready for S.H.T.F. Okay, so that's going to be the focus on today's topic, and I think it will be interesting. I'm looking forward to getting your guys' feedback, and I think it'll be a fun show. But before we jump into the show, I definitely want to talk a couple of real things real quick, and I try to do this in the beginning of all of my shows. Family-oriented channel, guys, so please keep it clean. If you do not keep it clean, my moderators will boot you out, so there's no reason for it in the first place. Just enjoy, have good banter back and forth, because that's what it's all about, and hopefully we all learn something tonight. So that's also a very cool thing. So, and the other thing is, when I'm done talking, if you guys want to have a question, please put it in all cap lock so it stands out for me. It definitely makes it better that way. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to talk about this topic. So people go, well, wait a minute, I'm ready. I got a bunch of supplies and preps that I bought, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so when we talk about how ready are you, there's several different levels, guys, of being ready for an S.H.T.F. situation. Okay, one is having a good location. Where are you going to go? Where's your home base going to be in that S.H.T.F. situation? And I read a book a long time ago, and the cool thing about this book, and there's, sometimes you read something and there's one element of that will stand out to you more than anything else. And the biggest thing that this stood out to me when I read this book, and this is many, many years ago, it's the guy said, if you can live at your bug out location full time, do it. Because two reasons. Number one, logistically, you're already in place. All your preps are there with you when something happens. So that's hugely, hugely important. And at the time, I was living, almost 60 miles away from my bug out location. And so, I kept thinking, oh my God, if we had to bug out, we're getting one carload in my car, one carload in the ex-wife's car. And how much stuff could we really bring? I would have had to leave a lot of stuff behind. So that was something that really played on me. And when I read that, I said, I need to get myself in a situation where I'm at my bug out location. So that's something I really want you guys to think about. If you're any way possible that you can do it, if you can live at your bug out location full time, do it, because it just puts you in such a better place advantage wise when an S.H.T.F. event happens, because you're already there. The possibility that you are going to be home when something happens increases greatly. And like I said, and all your preps are there. So you don't have to worry about trying to get everything on site. So that's a huge, huge thing. So that's the first thing, okay? And so that location, that's a big part of the whole situation. Then second, obviously, comes down to preps. What kind of preps do I have? What kind of things am I ready for? Do I have tools? Do I have chainsaws? Do I have, gardening tools? Do I have tools that if I have to run out of gas eventually, that I can have the hand tools to cut down trees to get firewood, to process firewood? And, so those are things that I want you guys to think about as well. Because again, and there's another thing logistically wise, how much gas do you have on hand? How much gas do you have available in that S.H.T.F. situation? So, those are things that I want you guys to think about as well. So having supplies, great. The amount of supplies, medical supplies, food, guns and ammunition, gardening supplies, which includes seeds and all those type of parts of it, tools for gardening, tools for everyday life. Because again, when S.H.T.F. happened, guys, or when it does happen, there's no more running to the store. So that's it. That's the end of it. And it's going to be the end of wherever you're going to go. You're going to have what you have. So it's really, really important to really do your planning properly. Okay. Again, now, if you can't live at your bug out location, another thing that I want you guys to think about, several different routes to get to your bug out location. These are important things, okay? So having maps and know how to read maps, okay? Because we're pretty lazy in this day and age. Nobody reads maps anymore. Everybody just uses, MapQuest, and they punch it into their phone and it tells them exactly how to go, and they don't even have to think about it. I've used it myself, don't get me wrong, so I'm not criticizing anybody, but it's important to know how to read a map, have several different routes to get to your bug out location, have transportation other than the car to get to your bug out location if there was an EMP event, okay? So having a bicycle or a couple bicycles, being able to put enough gear on that bicycle, a pull behind with that bicycle, those type of things. Again, that game plan, having everything in place. These are important things that a lot of people don't think about. So some people may think, well, I'm going to bug in and I'm going to stay where I'm at, wherever, be it suburbia, be it the city, whatever. There may come a time that you're going to need to bug out. So to have caches in place along the bug out route. And again, when I say have that plan for that bug out route, and let's say your plan is I'm going north and I'm going north and I'm going north, okay? Maybe you can't go north. Maybe you got to go east or west first and then kick back around north, okay? Having caches in different locations is going to be really, really important. If you have that bug out location that you're going to, having supplies along the way that are going to help you out to survive. Okay, so what's going to realistically be the most important thing? Let's think about it. Obviously, it's going to be you need to have food, okay, fresh water. So other than food and fresh water to get to that bug out location, you're going to need dry clothes. You're going to need shelter. You're going to be needing to be able to stay warm depending on what time of year it is. All those things are going to come into play, okay? So I want you to think about those things too. All right, so again, like with all these different things, it's so many different things that you have to think about. I think a lot of people don't think about those things. Another thing that you need to think about, guys, being mentally ready, being mentally prepared for, in your worst nightmare, how bad things are going to be, and then times it by 10, okay? So be mentally ready to do what is necessary to protect yourself, to protect your family, to protect your children, to protect the people in your group, okay? You need to really wrap your mind around what the possibilities of what you might have to do. And when that time comes, you're not going to be able to hesitate. You can't hesitate because the person that might be coming after you, they're not going to hesitate, okay? Another important aspect of this is being physically ready for what is coming. And so how do you, how do you do that? You get yourself, if you are out of shape. I mean, I've gotten myself, I'm working on getting back into better shape. Now, the weather getting better absolutely helps me because it's like it makes me more motivated. And so I want to get out there and I want to do things. And so, that's a big part of it as well. So being physically ready is really, really important. Now, here's another aspect that is really important. And I've talked about this a few times, but I want you guys to think about this, okay? I've talked about wild edibles. I've talked about medicinal plants, all right? Having that knowledge in your mind of what is something that can work for me, what is something that is poisonous, all those things, that's really, really important to know because we get plants up here that have really nice, pretty red berries on them, okay? And they look really, really nice. And then there's another one that is similar to that, that's a quince plant, which is really good for you, but that other one is poisonous, and if you eat it, you're going to die. So you don't want to do all this amazing stuff to be ready for this S.H.T.F event and then go, oh, look at these wonderful berries. I'm going to eat these berries, and then have you die because you didn't take that time to learn what was poisonous, what wasn't poisonous, what was edible, what's not edible. Again, knowing your medicinal plants as well is going to be important. It's going to save you in the long run. And the other thing with that, guys, too, is it makes you so much more valuable to a group, okay? It really, really does. I just see David Hastings just said, know how to use a compass. Absolutely. Very, very good idea. Know the stars. There's another one, guys, okay? Everybody's heard of the North Star, but does anybody really know where the North Star, where it's located in the sky, okay? Where it's triangulated with the Big Dipper, Okay, so those are things you want to know, because it's like if you're trying to travel and it's nighttime, you might be able to look up at the sky if it's a clear night and say, okay, there's the North Star. I want to go north. That's the way I want to go. So those are things I want you to think about too. It's no longer true north. I hear you, JJ. No, I absolutely hear you on that. But these are things that you need to think about. Hey, thank you very much, Santana. There, thank you very much for the donation as well. He says, keep up the great content going. Thank you very much. I appreciate that donation. But guys, these are really, really important things to really wrap your mind around every aspect of prepping. It's not just, okay, I have food, I have a few things, I'm ready to go. It's so much more. It's, again, making yourself as valuable as possible to a potential group down the road. And I know a lot of you are going to say, and I've heard people say, I don't have a group. Well, when S.H.T.F comes, you need to make yourself worthy of a group saying, regardless of what age you are, this person's going to be good. This is the person that I'm going to have in this group because they're bringing something to the table. So those are things that you make yourself valuable. So those are important to remember. Yeah, bug out route, rivers, how to cross, or find an alternate route. Absolutely, because bridges might not be there. So, you might want to know or have some kind of a flotation device that you can use, that you can get across that river if you need to. These are all things, guys, that you really, really need to know ahead of time. If you have a game plan of where you're going and how you're going to get there, it may take you a lot longer than you think to get there. So, again, having caches along the route, really, really important. Having, like I said, having a alternate means of transportation. I'm going to tell you what, riding a bicycle and walking, there's a huge difference. There's a lot more miles you can do on that bike than you can do on or than walking. And I'm not talking a motorcycle, I'm talking a bicycle. So my teachers taught me how to learn direction and make sure how to survive. That's awesome, Jessica. That's good. That's really good. Any thoughts about bugging out in a different country where signs point towards S.H.T.F coming? That's actually a great question. Let's say you are overseas and something happens. You are going to be in, again, if you can make yourself valuable to a group, doesn't matter. I tell people all the time, I tell people in my group, I said, there's going to be people in the group that we never had any idea were going to be part of the group, because there's only way we're going to survive what's coming, guys. The only way that we are going to survive is by working together, working as a group. Safety in numbers, okay? Having people with diverse skill sets. I mean, because we can't do it all. You can't. There's no way you can do it all. You can't stay up 24 hours a day. You can't do security and get everything else done. You need to have other people watching your back and you watching their back. These are important things to think about, okay? So these all go into play. So, but there's so much that goes with it. But the more valuable that you can make yourself, it just gives you a better chance of surviving. But surviving in another country, maybe you don't know the language that well. A lot of countries, thankfully, they do speak English. So you could maybe, talk with people that way and stuff like that. Don't go to Mexico or Canada after S.H.T.F. Canada wouldn't be a bad place. I mean, Canada gets cold, but there's some great people up in Canada. I wouldn't go south of the border, to be honest with you, because there is all the cartels and everything else down there, and they would take over things down there after an S.H.T.F event. So that could be a really, really bad thing. Marv should do another show. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely, I talked to Marv about that, doing another show together, and we kind of touched base a little bit. So we are going to definitely do that. So I'm going to actually give him a call again as well and talk about me coming back on his show again. And I'm actually going to be doing another show on Saturday for an alternative channel. And so he had contacted me. So I'm going to be doing a different show on Saturday. So, we're gonna be doing that. I'll let you guys know more about that as we get closer to it. But I think that'll be interesting. Let's see what we got here. And Hannah has a problem with Marfugal. Thank you for letting me know every single time when I talk about Marf. You say the same thing every time, and you have the right to your opinion. But it's you don't have to tell me every time. I know you don't like them. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, guys, while I was thinking about it, Mike, my IT guy, who's on here, obviously, very, very selfish individual. Between midnight and 7 in the morning, he likes to sleep. So if you make an order for Kratom, he won't do the invoice until the morning. So for whatever reason, selfishly, I believe it's wanting to sleep between midnight and 7 in the morning. I'm teasing, guys, just so you know. But yeah, if you make an order, he will get, when he gets up in the morning, he will do an invoice for you. So definitely go check out the Watchman News. If you go on my channel, then you can see on there that it has under the store part. You click on that, it has a link, and you can save 10% on Kratom if you're looking to get Kratom. Mike sells it on a separate website, so definitely check that out. I should team up with Kansas Prepper. I never even heard of Kansas Prepper. I'm sorry, I'm this terrible. But I would be willing to work with anybody. I like meeting new people. I like talking to people. I like bouncing different ideas. So if you would like, give them my information. I would definitely talk with them. So anyway, but check out Mike. The other thing I wanted to mention too, while I was thinking about it, is Little Prepper Lady is doing a giveaway right now. So to be able to be in the giveaway, she did a giveaway video on Monday. She's doing the giveaway on Friday. Got to go over to her channel, Little Prepper Lady, no space in between. Go over there, subscribe, like, comment on the giveaway video, and you can be in her giveaway contest. She's going to be doing that on Friday. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as well. The way you place an order for Kratom, you got to go on to, you go to my website, you go to the store part, you click down, and there's a link for the Kratom stuff, and you'll click on that, and that'll walk you through it, okay? If you guys could give me a thumbs up, too, I would appreciate it. That would be awesome. Thank you. The other thing, I want to talk about, too, on my website, we have the Prepper Nurse One community where like-minded people can get together. They can, talk, form groups from whatever country or state that you're in. It's completely free. It doesn't cost anything. And so, go there, check that out. It's a great way to meet new people, talk with like-minded people, which is really, really cool. Okay. So, that's definitely, a cool way of doing it. So if you do that, go over there and it'll say PN1 community. Click on there, register. Very, very private. Like I said, great way to meet new people. Last thing I want to mention again, the sale is ending May 23rd or 25th for the bucket deal, where you get 25% off any kind of bucket meal if you're interested in doing that on my website as well. And that's in the store, and that's under the Legacy Foods. So if you buy a bucket package on my website, you can save 25%, and the discount code will be up on top. So take advantage of that if you're looking to add to your freeze-dried storage. The other thing I was going to talk about too, guys, really, this is like, I don't think a lot of people really pay attention if it doesn't affect them directly right away. And what's happening out basically in the grain basket of the United States, if you want to, in the plains, everything that is going on is it's absolutely crazy right now. Okay, you have really, really bad weather, tremendous amounts of flooding through the central United States with more rain on the way. Okay, also you look at the flooding situation that happened with Nebraska and all that area before. Now Oklahoma's underwater right now too, guys. So I mean, I really want you guys to think about all our brothers and sisters out there that are really suffering with this type of stuff. It's, that's why we prep. It might not be the huge S.H.T.F situation that affects everybody, but I'm telling you right now, if you're a prepper and you're in Oklahoma, it's affected you. So, those people don't, I think somebody had said it's the worst flooding they've had since 1927. So, I mean, it's a long time. So food is going to be a huge, huge, huge thing, guys. If farmers can't get out there and get those crops in the ground. Our farmers up here in New York were late putting the crops in the ground because we had such a wet spring, crazy wet spring. So those guys, they're dealing with playing catch up now. I mean, the last 2 nights when I was out, I wasn't out tonight, obviously, but the last 2 nights that I was out, it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and I'm pointing and I'm showing my kids, look at that. That's a farmer's life. That is hard life. They're out there. They have long. There's no 9 to 5 with a farmer. They do 12-hour days without even thinking about it. Okay, and that's a slow day. So those guys are working their butts off, and a lot of our farmers guys out in the Midwest, in the central United States, they're not getting the crops in. And a lot of the farmers that were like in Nebraska, they said 25% of them are not even going to be able to continue on because things were so bad. So you really want you to think about that. And it's not just happening here in the United States, guys. This is happening all over the world. So with the food, that is really the key. Okay, I mean, water's important, don't get me wrong, but food is going to be the key. And to be ready with food is going to be so important. So I definitely encourage you guys, get out there, add to your preps, and I mean all of them. I'm not just talking freeze-dried. Freeze-dried's important too. You should have that in your preps. But you should have dried beans and rice and those type of things, okay? That's long-term food storage stuff. You need to have those as well. You need to have canned goods. You need to have a huge variety of different things like your spices, your sugar, honey, really important. All these different types of things, they're really going to be important if you want to survive what's coming. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking to take what you have afterwards. So you really need to be able to protect yourself in that situation as well, because that's really important. River's very high, but fields look pretty good so far. Heidi12 just said, planting like crazy here in Minnesota. Okay, that's awesome. I know Minnesota wasn't where a lot of the flooding was. I know you guys had a lot of snow up there in Minnesota. But snowing in Utah, higher areas, and lots of rain down lower. Wow, okay. Food shortage will stop bartering efforts. Yeah, I mean, it's, you think about what's going on, guys. It's nuts. It's nuts out there. Very scary. Do you think Iran's regime will topple because of the oppressive and controlling regime? You know what? They've had that regime in place since the 70s when the Shah of Iran took off out of there. And I think it was like 1979 when that all went down. So they've been in power for quite a while here already. And they are pretty oppressive. But, like I said, I think that the average Iranian is just like anybody else. They just want to live and be happy and have peace. You have your hardliners that are in control. It's going to be tough for them to overthrow that kind of a government. Okay, it's going to be really tough. You would have to have a really concerted effort by the people that said, "I'm not taking this crap no more," and they would have to stick to it to get rid of them. But and I'm sure that there are outside influences trying to help with that, if you know what I mean. The United States. So, but yeah, that's that's crazy. Iran people are scared of their government. They are not our enemy. I never said they were the enemy. I've said that before. I think that a lot of the stuff, guys, is a lot of the stuff that is being the propaganda, if you will, in the news media. I think that that's just all a game, grandstanding, and stuff like that. I really, I think the average person, just like the average American, I don't want to go to war with Iran. They're not a threat to me, and they're not, okay? But it's a big game, and so it's going to continue to happen. And the government is going to do something at some point where, be it a false flag, to either antagonize them, to antagonize North Korea, and then we'll blame it on them, and then there will be retribution by our part, because that's what we'll do. We have to make ourselves look like the good guy. So it's that's what I want you guys to think about too. There's a lot of stuff. So if there's some event that happens, you really need to focus on that and look at it and look through it and see, is it real? Is it not real? Whatever, you know what I mean? So those are things I want you guys to think about. What do we got here? In Louisiana, picked up my first veggies and plan on spending Memorial Day weekend candy. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys can do that down there. Memorial Day weekend is generally when we plant up here, guys, up in New York, just because, last night it was 40 degrees last night. So, the temperature, once you get to that, end of the month of May, then things get better. And so that's generally when we all plant up here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, watch the prices of food. They're going to go way up, and they've already started going up, guys. I've already had people telling me they're paying more for different things. And if there's any kind of an issue that really jumps off with Iran, I hate to think what the gas prices are going to jump up to. Yeah, keep cash on hand. Sue just said that. That's really good advice. Really good advice. Oh, Gary just said they're running a night crew and a day crew to get corn planted. Yeah, I believe it. That's crazy. And I totally understand. You guys got so far behind with everything. Like I said, I know here in New York, these guys are scrambling. They're up early, and they're working till dark. So they're putting in some seriously long days, getting things done. Like right now, it's 8:30 almost, and it's still light outside. I almost guarantee you, the farmers are still out in those fields getting things going. It's absolutely insane the way the weather has been. Oh, what do we got here? Plus, buy extra of everyday items like toothpaste, hygiene items. MBG just said that. That's very good advice. Making sure that you have those other kind of items. For women, obviously extra maxi pads, those type of things. They can be used as a double purpose. They can be to be able to stop a bleed if somebody cuts themselves really badly, or those type of things, or obviously using it for the purpose that it's intended to. But having enough of that stocked up to really give you a good start when S.H.T.F happens, eventually it'll go back to the old way of doing things, where it would be either like rags or probably cattails would be a great thing to use for something like that, but those are definitely things, you could get a menstrual cup for women. They are good for 5 years. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Absolutely good to know. I did not know that. Well, obviously, because I don't have those parts and don't do that. But, again, women need to prepare for the different things that they need to prepare for. It's a little bit different, obviously, than with guys. We have severe weather coming our way tomorrow, Adam, just south of you. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know that the afternoon tomorrow they're talking about thunderstorms up here. Bill is coming back tomorrow to do more work. I'm going to tell you. So I got to talk a little bit about that, guys. So I started working on splitting wood today, and I got a nice dent in it. I put a real nice dent in it today, which I was real pleased about that. But I was even more pleased. Bill came today, started, digging up all the stumps that I wanted him to get out. So he was working on that today. He's coming back tomorrow. He's still got his backhoe here. He's going to get his bulldozer in here, and we're going to clear some more stuff out. And I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to show you some of what he's doing. But when he's doing that, and then, what the whole game plan is, again, I'll go over those type of things as well. But I'll tell you what, he is awesome. He is awesome. When I first moved up here, I went to the town, and I said, could you recommend somebody for me to do some bulldozing work and stuff like that? I need to get somebody, and I want to get somebody local. And they said, this is the guy, Bill, and I won't say his last name, but they said, this is a guy. He even works for the town, okay? That farm that I showed you guys the other day in the video, he works for that guy quite a bit too. That guy told him, he said, I could keep you busy all year, all season. And, because they're having all kinds of issues, Is my land paid off? Jay Bird just asked that. Yes, it is. I don't know anything for my land. My house is completely paid for now as well. Obviously, the camper is paid for. Actually, I'll be honest with you. The only thing I have payments on, guys, the only thing that I have payments on is my motorcycle. That's the only thing. My car is paid off. So that is my one indulgence. How's your evening so far? Really, really good. I had a really positive day. I'm going to be honest with you guys, okay? Last week, even though I walked last week, I was very, very lazy last week. I made no attempt to really get things going and do anything. And it was kind of frustrating to myself because of that, because it's like wasting time, realistically. And again, if you just work at things methodically and you just do a little bit at a time, it's amazing how fast things come together and how fast things get done. And so, what I did was, like, this week, I said, okay, I'm going to get going. And I was productive yesterday and I was productive today. And so, like, the whole time he was out there working with, the backhoe and stuff like that, I was splitting wood. So, and then I would stop periodically and talk with him and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're saying that the prices of things are going to go up. Where, like, if it was $4, it'll end up being $6 now because of the tariffs and stuff like that. So those are all things, guys, that also go into play. Okay. What do I buy to purify water? Tim and Melissa Stratton just asked that. My recommendation, guys, if you can afford a Berkey, get a Berkey. If you can't afford the Berkey itself, get the filters. You can make a water filter out of galvanized, like a pot or something like that. There's all kinds of videos on that, but you need those filters to be able to filter the water. The other thing, a Katadyn water filter. It's a camping, hiking water filter. Each filter will filter up to 10,000 gallons of water. Very lightweight. They weigh less than a pound. Okay. I have one of those, and I also have a backup filter. So just with my Katadyn alone, I can filter 20,000 gallons of water. I have a Berkey, and I love my Berkey. I'll be honest with you. It's awesome. It's the main thing we use for the house. I just actually bought some more backup filters, and I actually want to buy more backup filters as well. But so I really, really love that. You should definitely have, like, the Sawyer straw, those type of things. Have those in your packs as well. Really good to have. Have tablets. They have tablets. You can use bleach to purify water. So pool shock is another thing that you can get. You can get a pool shock in big quantities, and it's another way to purify water. So there's lots of different ways to purify water. Okay, so definitely think about that. Okay, so if you do that, think about those things. There's a lot of different alternatives. Again, like I also talked about, charcoal. Okay, charcoal, sand, and then fine stones, and use that. I use my Berkey to filter sink water. Yes, I do. But I have a well, guys. Okay, I have an artesian well, so the water's always coming up all the time. It's a great well. Love my well. 130 feet deep, and so what I do is, we run that water right into the house. But for the water that we're going to drink or we're going to cook with, we will filter that through the Berkey first, just to be extra safe. So I'm not taking any calls tonight, guys. No, what we'll probably do is Little Prepper Lady's going to be joining me like every Sunday. We're going to do together. So we'll probably do like an hour show, and then we'll probably do like a half an hour at least of call-ins. And when we do the call-ins, we're going to do. I may eventually start taking more calls, during the week. I don't know yet, but right now we're just going to do it on Sundays. And so, when she's here, then we'll do like a half an hour of call-ins, and we're going to limit people to, 3 minutes per call. So try to keep it fair for everybody if other people are trying to call in, so let's see, what do we got here? Pool shock. Yep. They have pool shock that you can use to treat water as well. We're not getting hit. It was kind of overcast most of the day. Had a sprinkle come through, but nothing bad yet for as far as rain up here tonight. But like I said, they're calling tomorrow that, like, in the afternoon we're going to get hammered with rain. So, Mini Prep Michigan said it's illegal to catch rainwater here, and I think that that's insane. That is, that is unbelievable. And I know that like in New Jersey, they're taxing people on rain, which is absolutely nuts as well. You know, but it's why can't you collect that rainwater? I would definitely. That would be something that I don't care if they said it was illegal or not. To be honest with you, I'd still do it anyway. That's just me personally. But rain comes from the sky. They can't control rain. They can't tell you what you can do and what you can't do as far as that goes, as far as I'm concerned. And all these people that are making up these laws that are more and more restrictive, you don't want these people in, do something about it, I mean, realistically. But it doesn't really matter because they all have an agenda. It's all about control anyway. They should sue the government for it raining in the first place. Right, exactly. That is so funny. But yeah, it's nuts that, in certain places that you cannot collect rainwater. And there is an attack on tiny homes. They don't want people to downsize because then they're not making any money off of people. So that's that's another thing that they're doing. And they're it's basically a lot of towns are saying that you have to have so many square footage of a house if you want to put a house in, that they don't, because again, if you have a tiny home, they can't load you up and tax the crap out of you if you have a tiny home because it's not that big. So they don't like that. So they definitely, it's all control, guys. It's all about, you think that you're free, but you're really not realistically. I mean, that's the reality of it, unfortunately. Yeah, we still do it. It's only illegal if you get caught. I agree. I'll tell you what I would do if I was in a state where they said that you cannot collect rainwater, I would have cisterns underground, and I'd have all my rainwater going down into those cisterns so that they could not be seen from the road. They didn't have, like I have a 550-gallon storage tank by the side of the house that I use to rainwater. I use that water for the garden. I'd have everything underground. That's ridiculous, that they do that. And guys, actually, if you could give me a thumbs up too, I would appreciate that. So it does mean a lot. It does help. Makes me look good. No, I'm like, I do appreciate it though, guys. I really do. I don't know if they will ever ban them in rural areas, and I'll tell you why. Because it's like once you get out of like suburbia, the cities, and some of your smaller, larger towns, people have a tendency to be more less restrictive. Country folk generally tend to mind their own business. If it's not bothering them, they're not gonna, they don't care realistically. As long as you're a decent neighbor, you're not bothering anybody, you mind your own business, and you're a decent person, then, breaking news, 10,000 more U.S. troops going to the Middle East. Well, we'll talk about that a second, too, if you want, guys. I saw where they were pulling the ExxonMobil people out of southern Iraq, those people all out of the oil fields and stuff like that, because I think that they're gearing up if that's what they want to do. Charlie just asked, do I have goats? I don't have goats yet, but I do plan on having goats in the future. I definitely do want goats. I want to get Senna goats. They're a really big goat. The females are about 150 pounds, and the male goats are, I think they said like 175 to 200. So they're good sized goats, but they're real gentle. They're great with kids. They're mountain goats in general. They're generally a bigger goat, but I definitely would like to have them. So Kevin H said war is coming. It would not shock me if they tried to jump something off again, which would be absolutely insane. Terrible, terrible thing, guys. I mean, it's like we don't need more war. We really, truly don't. If we can stay away from it and stay out of that type of situation, I think that that's better for us as a people in general. Because again, and I talked about this before, it's not the rich people's, it's not the congressmen or the congresswomen's children going off and fighting in these wars. It's my kids. It's your kids. Small town America, suburbia kids, city kids. Those are the ones that go off and fight and die, for what? Oil? It's crazy. Yeah, it's money. It's always, yep, Little prepper lady just said it's money. They will always have war. War is big business. Economies boom when there's war. It's a sad fact, and it's true. But I still, like I said, I'd rather bring all our boys home and work on our own country. We need to work on this country, work on our infrastructure. You want to make America great again? Let's make America great. Let's make our roadways great. Let's make our waterways great. Let's take care of our power grid. Let's harden the power grid. That's where that money should be going. Taking care of our own. Take care of our veterans. Take care of our homeless. Take care of our people that have mental issues. So it's there's a lot of people that really need our help. Yep, Joel M said he's late, but war is big business. Yep, sure is. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And I'm ex-military, guys. I mean, as a kid growing up, all I ever wanted to do was be a soldier. That's all I wanted to do. So when I was a senior in high school, I never looked at the other three branches. I just went to the Army. I went right in the Army. I was signed up in January, 6 months before I graduated. I was signed up. I was going. So, yeah, that's all I ever wanted to do. And, it definitely helped me grow up. I needed it. I was, but it's, you can get some good training. You can learn a lot. Like I said, it definitely turns you into a man or a woman, in that aspect. Oh, I know Doug and Stacy. Doug's out said, Ed, check out Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I know them. I've actually talked to Doug. They're good people. They got a good channel over there too. Absolutely, they do. How long do canned food last? What can you buy at the store? Okay, so Dale James just asked that. Canned goods, guys, will last a long time past the best by date. What the best by date is on a can, it basically is saying that food in that can will start to lose nutritional value after that date. It'll still be edible. It'll still be good. It'll still fill you up and give you calories after that date, years after that date. Now, if that can is swollen, or when you open that can, it has a really, really bad smell, that's when you don't want to. You don't want to eat it then, okay? Because then it's bad. But as long as that can's not swollen, and those type of things, and it doesn't have that bad smell when you open it. Botulism. JJ just said that. I've eaten stuff that was like 7 years past the best by date with no problems at all. So, have I heard about the Lost Waste community? I have not heard about them. No. A little prepper lady just said she had a can of corn from 5 years ago, 5 years past, and it was still fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, guys, I got a lot of my preps that I had, canned goods wise, from when I still lived, in Rochester, New York, and Wells Grease, New York. And, we've been down here almost 4 years. So, yeah, it's, do I have a bicycle yet? I already have bicycles. I just need to get them serviced. I think I got 2 or 3 bikes. One's working order. I could use it right now, but the other 2 need work. But I definitely do plan on adding more bicycles. Heather will have a brand new bicycle when she goes to college. I'm not leaving her hung out to dry, guys. And here's the funny thing, and I talked about this, and somebody said, no, that's terrible that you said that. But what I told my daughter, when my kids go to their moms, something happens and you're at your mom's. Something happens like when she's at college. I am not coming to get you. You need to get home. Now, that may sound harsh and that may sound terrible, but I can't go running off, half-cocked, if you will, trying to save the day. I don't even know if I can get there or where she's going to be, and those type of things. If I give her the training, I give her the tools, she's going to be able to get home just fine. And when she gets here, everything's going to be intact and she's going to be safe. And that's why you do that with your kids, okay? She has a bicycle. She can be home in less than a day. But the biggest thing is giving those kids the tools, guys. Teaching those kids. Teach them how to start a fire. Teach them how to make a shelter. Have them be able to read a map. Have them know if this happens, boom, I'm gone. And they hop on that bike, throw a pack on, make sure they got plenty of water, and get out and get away. And So, Let's see. James White, USMC 74 to 78. Hoorah. Very cool, James. Very cool. That's a few years ago. You predate me by a little bit. Hey, country girl, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hebrew National and Vienna sausage are the best in nutrients and low sodium. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. Canned chicken. If you can can stuff too, definitely do that as well. Okay, I would definitely highly recommend that. If you can can, turkey and chicken and those type of things, I would do that as well. But I also buy, roast beef ready to go in a can. I buy chicken in a can. I have Vienna sausages. I have sardines. I have a ton of tuna fish because I like tuna fish. So all those type of things, really, really good to have. Good protein source after an S.H.T.F event. Again, canned ham, absolutely. Yep, I have canned ham as well. Great stuff to have. And you can get all those things and have them in place. It just gives you that little extra edge. I'm telling you right now, when S.H.T.F happened, guys, the potted meat, right? Yeah. Gonna give me some potted meat. Sling Blade. If it was a poor impersonation, I apologize, but anyway, those type of things, the woods are going to be hunted dry in no time, in my opinion. You got everybody out there, everybody and their brother out there looking to hunt, to eat, and stuff like that. You look at the Great Depression, it took like 30 years before the population of deer and elk and rabbit and everything else came back because of overhunting, because people were starving and they had to eat. So, that's you need to think about that. Sling Blade is a movie. Billy Bob Thornton plays the main character, and he's like a mentally challenged individual that killed his mother, and so he got out, and it's a great movie. You ever get a chance to watch Sling Blade, see it, because my favorite line ever from that movie, he goes, "Yeah, I was up at the nervous hospital." Instead of the mental hospital, it's the nervous hospital. So we use that all the time, the nervous hospital. Oh, I don't have any of that tea tonight. I didn't go down to town today. So all I got today, JJ, I'm sorry, I just got Gatorade. So I can't offend you tonight, so I apologize. I'll try to make sure I have some for Friday. Yep, Gatorade tonight. But I'll make sure I get some of that on. Maybe I'll pick some up tomorrow. So I love that tea. That tea is awesome. I'm a tea drinker anyway, so I like my tea. But that tea is just that's freaking best. Biscuits and mustard, right? Right. He's offended that he cannot be offended. Exactly. Awesome. That's so funny. Yeah, Gatorade, guys, that's another thing. If you've got Gatorade powder, they sell that too. One of the things, and I've talked about this a few times in videos, I'll mention it again tonight. Hey, Bubba Love.
That have Gatorade.
I don't think I have any more left. Let's see. I got one left. Yep, you can have it. Okay. There you go. Yeah, they have Gatorade and powder. You can get the Gatorade and powder. You get those packets. Anything, guys, that you can use to add with water, iced tea, lemonade, grape drink. They have all kinds of different things. They have the Gatorade and the powder. You can get it in the bigger cans. Great to have. Great prep to have. Okay, because you're going to need to have. If you just drink water every day all the time, you're going to drink it because you need to have that water intake. But if you can change the taste of that, it's going to make life a lot more enjoyable. Even like tea bags, having tea bags to make iced tea that way, Oh, yeah, clotheslines. Yeah, you're going to need clotheslines because you're going to be washing clothes. No more going off, if you have, worst case scenario, everything's going to be done by hand. So Gatorade Zero, I don't think I've had Gatorade Zero. Unless this is Gatorade Zero. I don't even know what that is. That's just regular Gatorade. But there's a lot of different things, guys. Do you keep bags out of rice and noodles? I have a lot of rice packed away, guys. A lot of rice packed away, and but yeah, you need to have those different options to change that flavor of the drink up. I mean, think about this. You say it's 6 months post S.H.T.F event, and you're able to go out there with a pitcher and give everybody a drink of lemonade. And all they've been having basically is strictly water, maybe milk if there's a cow and stuff like that, okay? So, hey, Prepper Rabbit, how you doing tonight, buddy? How's things, everything going with the homestead? I've been watching your videos. He's making, just cleared an area out, cleared out the pad, had the road put in, making good progress down there for his homestead down in Tennessee. So keep up the good work, Prepper Rabbit. Salt, yep, absolutely. I have a ton of salt packed away too. There's a lot of things, guys. There's a lot of things that you can look at that you're going to need. Make those lists. I've talked about lists. Make a list, of different things to get. It really will make a huge difference if you can start banging things right off that list. It's just like in my head, my list of things that I wanted to get done this year. We're making those things happen. And, it's like I wanted to get those trees, cut up and get them bucked up and then get them over. And, and now I just started getting everything split. And then after we get things split, then it's going to be stacking time. And, it's a work in progress. But as you methodically bang those things out, it's amazing how fast. French fried taters, yes, from Sling Blade. Give me some of them French fried taters. You got to watch the movies, guys. Billy Bob Thornton, awesome in that movie. You don't even recognize him as who he is normally, because the way he changes, the way his face looks and everything else. So very funny movie. Sling, S-L-I-N-G, Sling Blade is the name of the movie. Yep. S.H.T.F, how close are we? Gord just asked that question. You know what? I don't ever make predictions and say it's going to be this long or that long. Things are happening that are very concerning. I'll be honest with you with that. Just weather-wise, with the crops, those things are concerning. With what's going on around the world, there are all kinds of other things that happen. I mean, we could have a solar flare. There could be an EMP. I mean, there's so many possibilities, guys, that it's actually pretty scary if you think about it. And, I just uploaded a video for me. Oh, okay. I'll have to go check it out. But, if you just, like I said, it's so hard to say when something could happen, guys. Again, my biggest thing that I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to encourage you to be as ready as you possibly can be. Anything that you do is going to give you an advantage over most of the population, even if it's as little as 2 weeks worth of food and water. 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. So when you put that into perspective, the more that you can do, the more ready that you are, it's going to give you an advantage. It's going to help you out and your family out tremendously. And here's the thing, preppers were called crazy, and all those type of things. But realistically, when that time comes, we're the smartest person in the room. And I don't care if people call me crazy that the cows come home. Something happens and I can take care of my family. That's my, and my group. That's my number one concern. The people that are in my group, I got some great people in my group, and, it's always expanding, actually. I got a few more people that just recently got added into the group as well. But, working together for that common cause of surviving what is coming. And not just surviving, guys, thriving. I mean, it'll be a whole different ball game. It'll be a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, it's not going to be anything like it ever used to be, like it is now. But you try to make the best of a bad situation. You ever hear that saying? Make the best of a bad situation. S.H.T.F happens. We got to try to work together, try to survive what's coming. And it's going to take us um, all working together to do that. Because once S.H.T.F happens, guys, at some point, there's going to be the recovery. There's going to be, now civilization starts again. So those things are going to happen eventually. So if you just prepped up and I got all my guns and I'm a big tough guy and I'm ready to go that way, you know what? That's not the end all be all. You have to have a game plan in your head. What happens when this is done? What are we going to do to rebuild? How are we going to work together? And those are things that you got to think about. Most people can't survive without the internet. Yeah, I hear you. No, most people can't. You know, they're used to it. They're so used to it now. They're so ingrained. I'm going to tell you what, though, guys, and here's the funny part. Kids are very, very resilient. Very resilient. They will adjust to change way better than adults will. Way better than adults will. And I want you to think about that, okay? And here's the other thing I want you to think about. When S.H.T.F happens, there's going to be a lot of kids out there that are going to be lost. They're not going to have direction. Maybe one or both of their parents are going to be killed, okay? And they're on their own. If you can pull those kids into your groups and help those kids and help them to survive and make them good people and guide them and put them in a right direction, they're going to be loyal to you forever. They are going to, because they're going to remember, okay? That's number one. But here's the most important thing. Those kids, guys, that's the future. They are the future. So that guidance that we can give to them and we can provide for them is going to be so instrumental of what happens next. It's going to be back to, the family clan, if you will, the huge family units of people working together for the greater good of the family or the town or whatever it's going to be. People are going to be working together. Okay. And, so that's important to remember as well, so I want you guys to think about those things. And, when it all jumps off, and I believe it's just a matter of when, not if, those are things we really, really, really need to think about. A lot goes into it, guys. I mean, the title of the video today, again, are you really ready for S.H.T.F? Realistically, we got so many things that we need to put in our brain, think about, process, and then get to it. Okay, tribalism, exactly. Kevin just said tribalism, exactly. It'll be tribes again. But the thing is, what kind of tribe are you going to have? Are you going to have a tribe that's a bunch of lunatics, or are you going to have a tribe that actually is looking to, okay, we made these mistakes in the past. Let's not do that again. Let's make our lives better. Let's make the world better. That's the kind of tribe I want to be in. I want to be in a tribe where, we take care of our old people, that we don't throw them away like they're garbage, that we try to be decent people, regardless of what color somebody is. It's not going to be about color anymore, I hope anyway. Hopefully it'll be more about, this is our group, you're part of this family. It'll be family. And, and that's the tribalism part of it. You're part of that family. And, it's going to be a whole, and somebody just said on here, James just said, it takes a village to raise a child. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So, there's going to be a lot going on, guys, and I want you to really think about these things. A lot of scary stuff can happen, and it can happen in a blink of an eye. And when it does, are we ready? Now, see, there's a question that I find very, very distasteful, and I'm gonna address it real soon. Somebody said, "Did I ever have to kill anybody in the military?" Anybody that served in a combat situation, the last thing you should ever ask that person is, "Did you kill somebody while you were in the military?" Okay, because what people have to do to survive in that situation, that should never be something that should never be a question that's asked, okay? So I just wanted to address that. That is not a question you ever should ask somebody, especially a combat veteran. So if you ever thought about asking a combat veteran, now I am not a combat veteran, okay? So, for me personally, I never saw combat when I was in the service. But there's a lot of people in the last 17 years that have seen a lot of combat, guys. And so they've had to do things. And so I want you to be respectful of these people. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. If they decide they want to talk to you about it, let them talk to you about it. But you need to be respectful. And that's what I'm going to say about that, okay? So, guys, again, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Anybody that's jumping in here new, I would definitely appreciate that. Hey, Phyllis, thank you very much. She says, I am a prepper, and I watch your show all the time, and I love it. Well, thank you very much, Phyllis. I appreciate that. You know what, guys? I just want to say I appreciate all of you. None of this would happen without you guys being involved with this. So I truly appreciate everything that everybody does. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching my daily videos. I love sharing what we're doing up here. I love sharing our adventure. And, it's been awesome. And it's been a pleasure and a privilege to have you all involved with me on that. And, and I'm going to tell you what, a lot of times, guys, when I get up some days and I don't feel like doing squat, in my head, I go, I got to get something done. I got to show my people, my subscribers, my family that I'm doing stuff, that I'm motivated, that I'm going. So you guys motivate me too. I just want you to know that, because that's really, really true. And it's pretty cool. And I do appreciate that. So anyway, guys, what was I going to say? Have a Thanksgiving dinner day in June just for the heck of it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Living sweet journey. Yeah, and you're welcome. She said, thank you for standing up for the vets and saying what I said. You know what? We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. So, some people just don't know how to, they haven't got that filter and that art aspect of it. So I wasn't being mad at that person that asked that question. I just wanted to clarify that. So that's an important question. Russia is telling their people that the U.S. is prepared to be bombing them. Wow. Yeah, there's crazy stuff going on right now. Crazy, crazy stuff going on. And hopefully cooler heads will prevail. I hope that they do. Probably won't, to be honest with you. Again, the best thing you guys can do is be as ready as you possibly can be for what's coming. And even the people like in the central U.S. right now that are dealing with this flooding, especially Oklahoma right now, they've got it worse than anybody else. It is crazy. When is the get together? I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm either going to do it in July or August. We're going to do a prepper get together up here in New York. We're probably Letchworth State Park. So if you can look it on the map, Letchworth State Park. We will definitely look at doing that, and I got to talk with them there and see what I can find out what it would be to get a pavilion and that type of stuff. But so yeah, I definitely want to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun, and everybody would be welcome to come. And bring a dish to pass, and we'll have a big old get together of a lot of like-minded people. And I think that would be awesome. That would absolutely be awesome. So. Ever thought about getting turkeys or chickens? I'm going to be getting chickens soon. The chicken coop is not ready yet. I kind of got put on the back burner because of other things that I'm doing. But I definitely will be getting chickens, guys. I absolutely will. This year. That's happening this year, just so you know. We will be adding chickens this year. So anyway, yeah, you can bring beer, George. Absolutely. It's a state park. So you can bring beer in there, whatever you want. So. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here for now. I truly appreciate all of you. I really do. This is awesome. I love doing these talks with you guys. Hopefully, we all learned something, which is fantastic. Remember, guys, we're all in this together. That's important to remember. So I want you guys to think about that. Also, remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So to take care of and tell the people that you care about every day, it's so, so important. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Work at things methodically. They get done. It's amazing how much you can get done in a short period of time. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Negative people just want to bring you down, okay? So I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.